everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Samurai Fish Out of Water. This is a Kevin focused episode. At least I think that's his name. See, let me break this down for you. I'm not the hugest Power Rangers Samurai fan. It's one of my least favorite seasons, only because I watched it many years later after it came out. When it first came out, I watched the first episode, which was played out of order for some bizarre reason, and I did not particularly like that episode at all. And so I stopped watching it. And then I didn't watch Power Rangers again until Dino Charge. And so because of that, I missed the entire run of it. And so when I finally did watch it on Netflix, I was just confused every step of the way as I watched it. I wasn't understanding what was going on. I didn't understand the symbol power, these discs. I didn't understand why it had a certain look to it. I didn't understand why they had that giant anime looking sword. And I also didn't understand why they reused the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger theme song and why they had a Bulk and Skull like duo with with Bulk and Spike, which is Skull's son, who I do not like Skull's son at all. Also, I was shocked and surprised. Was like, why is Bulk living in a completely different city now and stuff, and especially without Skull? And so some other things about it I didn't like, because I don't think none of the Rangers are actually my favorite, like at all. And that's sad to say, because it was just kind of like one of those weird awkward seasons and stuff. Well, I was just so confused as to what was all going on. I was all like, wait, is this a battleizer? Is that a battleizer? If it's so, then why are the other Rangers using that? Wait, they all get battleizers? Wait, why did their outfits change when they get in the cockpit stuff? I was just so confused and everything. And then the Gold Ranger came in and I became even more confused. But one thing is cool about this season, it had like a female Red Ranger, which is technically she is our second, but she's the only good one. Because the first one was evil, and so she got to be a Red Ranger a little bit longer than the SPD one, but then she left, and it was just, I don't know, this was just an odd season, and it's just kind of like I had to look on YouTube to review this episode because Netflix took this season down. And so, because I've been wondering for the longest time, is this the most hated Power Rangers season of them all? Because you never ever hear anybody talk about it. And if they do, they always have something mean to say about it. And it's even to the point where none of the toy lines for this have come out for the Lightning figures. And you rarely see any of these Rangers do interviews and stuff. So I've been wondering, is this the most hated season or something? I would love to rewatch it again to get a better perspective and everything. But sadly, there's no way I can do that because it's now on Netflix. And I'm a bit unfamiliar with a lot of these Rangers and stuff. So yeah. So anyways, this starts off, and Kevin, I hope that's his name. I'm going to call him Kevin throughout the entire episode. So Kevin is about to eat breakfast with everybody else. They're at their headquarters, which is just a shrine. Now, the dude who's their mentor, whose name I forgot, I'm pretty sure he voiced Grodd in SPD. And so, Kevin seems to be a very disciplined person. You need discipline in life. He's very focused, but he has a routine. He eats a certain way. And so everybody's kind of picking on him because of that. And then, is the Pink Ranger named Mia? Or is that the Yellow Ranger? I know. Okay, no. Gia is from Megaforce. Okay, I don't, whatever the Pink Ranger's name is. I remember her for sure. She's the bad cook. And she decides to make something out of an omelet. I forgot. I think it's like oatmeal or something out of an omelet. So like he's grossed out and he decides he's just gonna like eat his food out of his normal order. And so the mentor dude finds out that there's a shark zord in like the ocean and he needs one of them to get it. The Blue Ranger, I think he volunteer. No, 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 he doesn't volunteer. I think no, what? I don't know. I think either he volunteers or Jaden. Now Jaden's name I remember, because of the Disney brain. He doesn't like Jaden very much, and so like, okay, anyway, so because now I'm remembering stuff as to like who used to really dislike this season, and it was him. There's a couple of elements in this he just doesn't like the mentor and Jaden and some other stuff. But anyways, I think he volunteers Kevin to like find it. He tells him, "Are you ready?" No, I think Kevin volunteers himself, and then he tells Kevin like, "Are you ready for this like solo mission?" I guess he's never done anything solo. He's just yes. So he goes out and he's at the beach and he's like fishing for the Zord. Now, one cool, interesting thing is that we get a little bit of a backstory with this dude. It turns out his father is the one who gave him his little symbol, this thingy, and told him how. No, does he give him that or does he give him that little card thing? I don't know. I forget. Anyway, so he gives him something, and he tells him that being a samurai ranger has been like long in our family, and he's proud to like pass it on to his son and hopes that he'll make him proud. So that's really cool and everything. Knowing that there's been samurai rangers for a long time, I think also this season messes up continuity because it's shown that I think there are like rangers from like the past, and we should know by now they should never existed back then. Oh, timeline continuity is worse than the MCU and Fox X-Men. Anyway, so he uses his morpher, uses his symbol power, and he's constantly fishing for like the Zord, but he keeps missing it. So he's using every type of combination he can to where he is exhausted. But the great thing about him, he does not give up. No matter how hard something is, he is persistent and like accomplishing his mission and stuff. And when I say he's exhausted, boy, he's exhausted. Anyway, he's greeted by like a local fisherman. Nothing special about this guy. I assumed he was gonna be some type of magical entity, but he's not. And so he just pretty much asks, "Hey, what are you doing?" and everything constantly, and why is this so important to you? And he tells him, "I'm on a special mission and and stuff like that." So in a way, the Rangers are fighting like a monster. A stinky monster. A monster with poisonous like gases. And so they get defeated. And when they are, they're incapacitated on the bed. So their sensei dude has to call Kevin and let him know what's up. But Kevin still hasn't got his Zord yet, so he can't exactly leave. But Jaden, ever so persistent and determined and brave as he is, he has like decided he's gonna go fight this monster even though he can barely stand up. So against like the master's wishes, he goes in a way and he snatches the dude's cell phone from his hand. That's pretty low down. So he goes and he fights the monster, still getting his butt whooped. And then the other rangers, they come unmorphed to help him out because they determine like well, if he is sick and can barely stand but he's brave enough to fight this monster, so can they. So at some point in time, Kevin is still trying to get that monster, now with the help of the fisherman who has to hold him on the shoulder and stuff like that. And he's finally able to reel it in, and it turns his disc blue. The fisherman is very shocked and like, "Man, this what kind of like swordfish is this?" And so he should know when he starts seeing that thing around town, the dude's a Power Ranger. So identity revealed. So in comes Kevin. he puts the hurting on the monster, but then his water, the water from the Zord is able to heal the Rangers because it has healing properties and stuff. They all morph and they fight. Now, Jaden calls on his giant sword. I forgot what that's called. And and so whatchamacallit, Kevin's giving him some words of inspiration, but Jaden is all like, nah, I want you to do this with the sword, but I'll hold it steady for you. Now, why couldn't they write it like this? We'll do it together. Instead of him being like, oh, this sword is too heavy for you, I'll help you and everything. I don't like that. Now, one problem a lot of fans had with this is they said it mirrors the Sentai like exactly, even the morphing sequence. Which when I saw the morphing sequence of that in the Sentai, I was shocked to see it was like play by play. And not only that, but Megaforce is the same way. And so, because fans, after a while, we got used to like, the American stuff being its own thing. So I don't know why Saban went that extremely cheap route and tried to stay extremely faithful to the Sentai. Some people say that's why it's a confusing season, because it has a lot of Asian elements in it that are unfamiliar to that of Western civilization. And, that's kind of one of the reasons why when Sailor Moon first came to America, they changed so much because, they feared that little kids wouldn't understand and stuff. And so, so they used the sword thing to blast the monster. But it was weird. If their weapon's supposed to be so powerful, why can't it destroy the monster? So they turn big after they get blasted. They call on their Zords. The Amagami Zord or something like that. I forget what they call it. Or Folding Zord, something like that. It's been a long time since I really seen this. So the Folding Zords, I always hated the CGI on these Zords. They look as cheap as they can get in cartoonish. And so the Blue Ranger, he's taking the lead, and he's on. And when the Megazord is formed, and he calls on the shark thing to have like a sword blade. So he's taking the lead, which is really great because this is his focus episode, which is something I don't understand when there's other black people playing Power Rangers. Their focus episode, sometimes the Red Ranger still does stuff. Well, anyways. So the sword is really weird position on the Megazord. It's on the top of his head as he's slashing and gashing away. And in a way, they defeat it. We get a scene with the monsters and everything. And then we get this other scene towards the end of this weird, like, samurai ninja type monster dude. And so Bulk and Spike are in this, and they have absolutely no real role in this episode. They're just at the beach being silly, stupid, and goofy. Now, this is not surprising. That's what Bulk and Skull used to do a lot in Power Rangers. The only problem is it was more funny. But there were times where it was unneeded and unnecessary. This is one of those situations and stuff. And so, like, it's weird as to why Spike acts so silly, stupid, goofy like Skull did, because when we do finally see Skull as a cameo in the last episode, we see Skull is not the same person. He's cleaned up his act, he's wearing a business suit, and he's riding around in a limo. So why does Spike act exactly like the way Skull did when he was younger? And that's because they were doing the whole nostalgia thing. They was piggybacking off of what made Power Rangers so successful, and that was Mighty Morphin. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.